So believe it or not, I got out here, started up the rig, and it's still saying there's an error in the low def. It's still an issue. So now I got to go back inside and let them know.
Got something to say? I do.
Go ahead and say it.
I think we got ripped off.
Do you think so?
I think we got taken, literally taken. And I got the paperwork right here.
Yeah, I think we may have been robbed.
Jeez.
We're going to share this info with you guys. You're going to want to check out this video because this may help you down the road.
Hopefully you won't have to go through what we went through. But if you are, or you do, hopefully it's helpful.
Stay tuned. You're going to want to check this out.
This is our everyday getaway, living the life, come what may. We'll show you the world full of colors and cheer. Join us on this journey, our vision is clear. No looking back, your two dreams hit the open road. Let's make some memories, lighten the load. This is our everyday getaway, living the life, come what may.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Our Everyday Getaway. I'm Chris and this is Katrina. If you guys are familiar with our channel, if you've been following the channel, our last video, we were working our way back to home base. We spent the winter in Arizona and Florida. We got about 60 miles from home base when I received the dreaded DEF issue. On the dash, it said low def.
Right.
But here's the thing. The gauge read full. As a diesel pusher owner with a DEF system, I kind of always knew that this was in the back of my mind. This may happen. So I pulled over, unsure what to do. I checked for a leak, make sure the tank was full. I called a friend. He suggested some things, told me I would be okay driving home. So we drove back to home base, and when I got back to home base, I checked a few things. Those things did not resolve the issue.
That's true.
So now we were at the situation where we had to call a shop in our area, and we are in the Maryland, Baltimore, DC area. Mm-hmm. We don't have a lot of options when it comes to a diesel shop. We just don't.
We don't. And it also, it's an issue with the size of our rig as well.
Correct. So if you call a smaller diesel shop, many of them don't want to mess with a rig like this. If you call a RV dealership that we're familiar with, they'll tell you, take it to Freightliner. Now, this is a Freightliner chassis, and I've gone to Freightliner before to get standard service.
Yes, and there are two different, I would say, locations in our area we could have chose from, but Chris chose the one he did because I think better reviews.
They have better reviews.
Yeah.
Called them up, told them of the problem, and we also wanted to get some standard service work done because we were overdue. Take it up there on a Sunday, drop it off. Come Monday, they start to look at it.
And they thought they resolved the issue. They did all the maintenance they were supposed to. They found that it was a blown fuse that was going out. They replaced it, drove it around for a while, figured it was fine, gave us a bill for $3,200.
They told us it was, you can come on in, pick it up. They're like, okay, no problem, let's go in and pick it up. We arrived, the day we arrived to pick it up, they go over everything and they showed us the fuse. The fuse was over near the chassis battery. Go to start the rig up and guess what? So I just went back inside. They said the problem was resolved. I fired up the RV and look, still. They said it was a fuse, it was taken care of. They took it out for a test ride last night, but here I am, I started up and it's the same problem and the same issue. So we went in and let them know, and they were like, okay, there must be a short somewhere in that line that's blowing that 10 amp fuse. It was a little, I think I have it here in my pocket.
It's small.
Just a little
guy.
Your standard 10 amp fuse. Okay, we stayed out there for a while. They came back and said, look, that line that we would have to check is over 30 feet long. It would take a while to check that line. We're going to try a few other things first. We want to run down and do a few other things.
And they did ask us if that was okay because they instilled in us that they knew what they were doing and it was just a process, and this was the way they needed to go in order. This was how they're supposed to do it.
And me not being well versed in automotive repair and diesel engines, I trusted them. I did trust them.
Well, you did ask them if they were in over their head, if they knew what they were doing. And of course they reassured us, of course we do. We got this.
So anyway, they said, well, these are the things we need to do. Well, one thing we need to do is to replace the PDM. Well, they didn't have any in stock. And at the time, the PDMs were hard to come by. There were only, I think, three
in the United States. They did find one that the other dealership would send to them from Oregon. So they gave us a price on it, and we had them ship it overnight.
They got around to installing the PDM, but the fuse was still blowing. Then they tell us, well, there are some other things that we would like to try to do.
Right.
Correct?
Yep.
And they gave us a price. Or was that later?
No, that was before they did it.
Okay.
They gave us a price.
They decided to take the ECM out, put their ECM in. I believe that's electronic control modular off the top of my head. But anyway, put their ECM in temporarily. Now, at this point, the fuse was not blown. The fuse wouldn't blow. Then they took and put ours back in. The fuse wouldn't blow. They also tested the pump for the DEF. Had no issues. The fuse wasn't blowing.
And they did test driving. They drove it around. They started it. They stopped all that stuff. So they're pretty
Right.
confident the fuse wasn't blowing, and it wasn't. But they still were like, we still think there's an electrical issue somewhere on that line. We need to check that.
Now, before they wanted to continue, they sent us this email and said, we need...
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Before you say that, now that we're just going through those two things that they just did, they charged us $3,700 for that. So we have $3,200. Now we have $37,000. Now they're calling and saying, we need 5 more hours at least. Could be less, but probably 5. And we need you to okay that you'll pay for that.
And that price was almost close to $8,200.
It was.
$8,200. So that's when we said,
Total.
whoa. We were like, no, don't do anything. That's when I got on the phone. I did call a few more shops, and no one was willing to look at it. So I called some friends, reached out to some people, took a chance. Every single one of them said, get your RV out of there now. Get away as fast as you can. These guys should be able to figure this problem out. It's been in the shop for at least a week.
And they said also, when you start throwing pieces and parts at an issue like that, they're just really, they're not doing, they know, they kind of have an idea what's going on. Now it's just they're making money.
Well, that's a sign that they really don't know what they're doing.
Right.
We decided to go in the next day to pick up the rig. We go into the office and we have a discussion with the staff.
It might have been a little heated.
Well, there was no yelling or screaming and
No,
hollering.
but it got tense.
And basically we told them, here's the thing, guys. They were charging us $260 for labor.
$265.
For an RV. To be fair, they did say that up front, but I did not anticipate it being in there over a week. And after talking to some friends, it became apparent to me that they were stalling in order to spend more time and to spend more money and to charge us more money, and which we told them. And we made it clear to them that you guys are professionals. Of course, they told us they were professionals, and that if the problem like this comes up, and they had 10 error codes, only 10. One of them did say something about the short. My question to them was, based on your experience doing this for some time, shouldn't you know right off the bat, shouldn't that be assigned to you to tell you what the real issue is, and you go straight to the issue? Instead, they gave us this spiel about, well, we have a procedure we have to go through, in which I told them, I think that you're only doing that because it's your way of making more money and creating more time.
Right. And then there was a couple other issues. I brought up the fact that when they told us they were going to order this part from Oregon, they gave us the price for it. It was $150 and then shipping, which we were fine with. And then when they read us the bill the second time, now it's $450 plus the freight. So I asked them, what kind of markup is that? It's not a Keystone, it's a 3-time markup. And this is part that was already sold. Like, they knew, it wasn't sitting on a shelf. The first time we went in and the fuse blew and they just replaced it, they should have been looking for the problem. Why did the fuse blow? Why did we even go back? And they said it wasn't. And both these instances, they said, you're right, we thought the same thing. Well, if you thought the same thing, why did you continue? And what? It just doesn't make sense.
So then they wanted to spend another 6 or 5 hours troubleshooting it, which they wanted us to pay up front. And they did tell us, well, if we solve it in an hour, we'll let you know we solve it in an hour, which at that point I wasn't buying into. If I'm paying for 5 hours, they're going to take the whole 5 hours. At this point, I didn't trust them anymore. So they gave us the standard company spiel about, oh, we're honest and we have cameras watching everyone, blah, 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 blah. And at that point in time, I didn't buy into anything. They asked us to give them 2 more hours free. So they said 2 more hours to try to check around the ECM to see if they could find it.
And they also brought down the labor fee from $265 to, I think it was $205 an hour for the whole thing. So our bill ended up being $5,000 some odd dollars at the end of the day, $5,500 I think it was, instead of $8,200 and some. But still, our issue, we're not completely thinking that it's resolved.
Well, here's what happened. After the 2 hours, they could not find a short in the line. Once again, they mentioned how long the line is with 4 different hubs and how problematic and time-consuming it could be. to check. By this time, one of the friends I reached out to, who is an experienced mechanic, told me, get the RV out of there, bring it back, I'll come over, I'll take a look and see if I can find it for you. We let them know that, and we said, we'll take the rig back.
We had to pick up the RV. They could not resolve the issue. But after this point and the amount of money, we said, that's it, we're done. We just want to get the rig, get out of here. But needless to say, I wasn't happy at all. Now, the code, or I'm sorry, the fuse that kept blowing, the issue was never resolved. But here's the thing. Since they did a few things and tweaked and messed with some things, the code's no longer coming up. Although the code's not coming up, that doesn't mean it can't come up later. And I'm going to have someone come out to home base and look at it, and hopefully we can get this issue resolved. Needless to say, I wasn't very happy with the overall service of the Freightliner shop. After a week of not having the rig, I just wanted to get it out of there and explore other options.
They did mention to us that maybe when they removed and reinstalled the ECM, that they may have inadvertently moved a wire that was shorting out or causing the fuse to blow, and they suggested just let it go, don't tinker with it, which we're not going to do. We got to find this issue and we got to find this problem.
Well, the one lead guy there said, I think he was the general manager, said, I would not have someone else come and look at this because they might move something and press something, it might have an issue again. And it just seems odd to us that after they looked at it for those 2 hours, or at least to me, that the whole way home, and it's about a 2-hour drive, now nothing's coming up.
The issue is still unresolved, even though the error is no longer coming up and the fuse is no longer blowing.
Right.
But we're not comfortable until we get another opinion. I guess what we're trying to tell you guys is we're sharing this information with you. We're letting you know, especially those of you who may take your vehicle in to get it serviced. In our opinion, we felt like we were robbed. And in our opinion, you should avoid this particular Freightliner dealership.
And we also found out that they're franchised. I don't know if they're all franchised, but at least this one in particular is a franchise. So they're individually owned and operated. They do have guidelines that they have to adhere to. But we just feel like if we had to go to another Freightliner, that is definitely not one we would not go back to.
Right. So in our case, being in the area, we have a lot of Freightliners to choose from. There's some up in PA. There's some out in Western Maryland. There's some in Baltimore City. So we do have quite a few options to choose from. So our advice to you would be, if you have to take your rig to Freightliner to get service, call ahead of time and find out what they are charging for an hourly rate. If you have to drive another hour or two to go to a different Freightliner to get your rig service, do that. Once again, we're limited on where we go in our area because many shops don't even want to touch it. We even called a mobile service and they didn't even bother to call us back.
Oh, yeah.
And we just don't know a diesel mechanic that we can just call up and say, hey man, can you come out here and do this work for us?
Well, we do now.
Well, we do now, yes.
After the fact.
Right. So we want to share this with you. And this, and in some ways, guys, try to understand, by no means are we completely absolved in any of this. We should have done a better job of finding out ahead of time and maybe doing, well, we were looking to get this rig fixed so we can get back on the road. We had plans for the week, which we canceled. Okay, that happened. This is, hopefully you guys can learn something from this. And those of you who have the experience and the knowledge, leave a comment down below and tell us where we were wrong and what we did wrong, and help us out. Give us some advice so in the future we can go in the right direction with getting the rig service. We're letting you guys know, we're sharing this with you. We think we were robbed. They were looking to charge us over $8,000 to do everything.
Well, and when we say $8,000 some dollars, they also said just because we're asking for that additional 5 hours does not mean we're going to find it.
Right.
It could be another 10 or 20. They literally told us when we were in the office, some people come in and pay like $30,000 when their rig goes down. And we're like, whoa, there's no way this is a $30,000 issue here. We need to get this resolved. So anyway, long story short, like Chris said, we pulled the rig.
In our opinion, we were robbed.
Yeah.
In our opinion, you should stay away from this place. Even if you're a truck driver, look somewhere else. This was our only option to fight back. We were definitely upset. We would like you guys to also share this video. Let's get this out there so that other RVers are aware of this, other truck drivers are aware of this. Let's share this video and get this out and inform people. Once again, if you guys think we're wrong in any of this and we made a mistake and you could help us out and you can inform us and educate us, please leave a comment below. And if any of you have ever been to the Freightliner in Harrisburg, PA and had bad service, leave a comment down below.
Or good service. We want to hear both ways.
I mean, look, it's a tough lesson to learn, guys. If you've been following the channel, lately we've had a run of bad luck, and that's okay. Prior to that, we've had no issues at all.
Just this last month has really hurt us in the public. So
we were due, right? I guess we were due.
That being said, we've talked about, you know, we kept telling you guys, what, a couple of videos that we're not going to be work camping anymore. Well, beet harvesting is looking pretty good right now.
I don't think so.
We may need some money.
I am not that desperate. I'd rather boondock for about 3-4 months straight.
You heard him say that, right?
I mean,
yeah.
But anyway, you know, we got to make light of this. There's no reason to get angry and upset. Katrina and I have been through much worse, but it is frustrating because I have been criticized of this before in the past. I'm a little bit too trustworthy, but at the same time, I think these guys should have done a better job and finding the issue right away, fixing it, and getting it taken care of and getting down the road. We just felt like they took advantage of us and they took advantage of our goodwill. And we just wanted to share that story with you. And this can be embarrassing for us to put this out there, but we feel the need to share everything with you. So maybe you guys can learn from our experience and this could help you.
And our mistakes.
Yes. Some of you guys reach out to us and you're getting ready to go full-time within the next year. This is something that you can learn from. And if it can help you out, then that's great. There you have it. Tell us what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. If you guys like this video, give us a thumbs up.
I like it.
And as we like to say here at the channel, any day you can get away.
It's a great day.
You guys take care.
See ya.